I just watched episode 4 of Marvel's What If. Hello, everyone. My name is Tyler Stans, and welcome to What's Playing Tonight. Now, I know it might seem a little strange to start with episode 4 of a series instead of the beginning, but quite frankly, I wasn't really doing this whenever the show started releasing episodes, so here's a quick list. Here's a quick list off to catch everybody up to speed. Episode 1 is good, episode 2 is great, and episode 3 was the best episode in the series until this latest one. Yeah, Marvel really outdid themselves with this one. It's good. It might be the only time that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made me ugly cry. Yeah, I was feeling things, and in order to talk about that, I'm going to have to spoil this episode. So here's your warning. Spoilers are on the way. You've been warned. Let's get into it. Now then, this episode is centered around Doctor Strange, which I was excited for because Doctor Strange has been one of my, probably one of my favorite aspects of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've enjoyed him every time that he's shown up, and just all the magic and stuff that he brings with him. It's very visually stunning. And he's an interesting character to me. I can't wait to see the sequel to his movie, if that ever comes out. It will come out, but you know what I mean. This episode takes a look at Doctor Strange and basically changes some of the things with his origin story. One of those things is basically changing his whole origin to begin with. If you might remember in Doctor Strange, the movie, the thing that kind of gets him going on his journey is that he crashes his car because he's not paying attention, because he's kind of arrogant, and he damages his hands. Therefore, he cannot perform surgeries anymore, which is bad for someone who is a surgeon. Well, in this episode, they changed things up a little bit. You might remember the character Christine from the movie, played by Rachel McAdams. She does not return to voice the character, but they did get Benedict Cumberbatch to come back and voice Doctor Strange, and that's good. That's fun. But anyway, Christine is in the car with him this time, and when he crashes, because some things just can't change, she is tragically killed in the accident, and he basically walks away without a scratch. Now, the interesting thing is that it seems like life kind of happens the same for this Doctor Strange. He still goes to learn magic. He still defeats Dormammu, and he still is he the Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU? Anyway, he becomes the Sorcerer Supreme in this episode, and as he's kind of toying around with the Time Stone, he starts to get an awful idea. What if, no pun intended, what if I go back and use the Time Stone and try and save Christine? So he does this, only she ends up dying anyway. And then he tries again, and she dies. And it seems like no matter what he tries to do, she keeps dying. And it's very, very heartbreaking to watch. It's very sad. It's a bit of a downer of an episode. So eventually that doesn't work, and the Ancient One, I guess, comes back in time somehow as a ghost. It's kind of weird, just roll with it. She comes back in time as a ghost and tells him it's not going to work, you could destroy the universe, but Doctor Strange, still arrogant, he's like, it's fine. So he escapes, and, well, he narrowly escapes. He gets blasted by the Ancient One, but he's fine. It's all good. And he goes to this old library to try and learn how to stop a, what did they call it? Absolute moment in time or something like that. Fixed point in time for you Doctor Who fans. I think that's what it's called on that show. I'm not a really good fan. And so he does this, and he goes to this library where he basically learns that the only way to change it, fixed point in time or whatever it's called, is by you have to have an immeasurable amount of power. So to do this, he starts conjuring up all these terrible creatures and basically just absorbing them. He absorbs like a little garden gnome looking guy. He absorbs the tentacle monster from the first episode of What If, which I thought was a nice callback. I'm not quite sure if there's any deeper meaning in that or not, but I wouldn't be shocked. And when he finally gets done absorbing all these things, he realizes that whenever the Ancient One shot him with her little magic beam as he was narrowly escaping, something happened. And it is then that we learn that she split the timeline. So we got him going back in time, and we got other Doctor Strange in the future. And it's basically, for what it's worth, it might as well be she split him into good half and evil half. So Ancient One as a ghost travels to the future now and talks to good Doctor Strange, tells him that the only way to save reality is to fight bad Doctor Strange. And good Doctor Strange knows he's got to do this because, as it turns out, all these timeline shenanigans, the world's kind of ending around them. So bad Doctor Strange wants his half of the power back. Good Doctor Strange wants to stop bad Doctor Strange. Any questions? No, I didn't think so. So they have a fight, and shockingly, bad Doctor Strange wins. He takes back his full power, and he does what he said he was going to do. He stops Christine from dying, and when he goes to check on her, he's all monstrous from all the monsters that he's absorbed, and reality does, in fact, start crumbling around them. Now, the interesting thing about this episode that we haven't seen in the first 3 episodes of What If is that the Watcher, who is basically the narrator for the series, he can only watch, but he can't intervene. He kind of intervenes. He talks to bad Doctor Strange, basically does a bunch of "I told you so." Bad Doctor Strange says he kind of begs him for help. It doesn't work. Christine dies in his arms. The bad doctor stops. He doesn't stop. No. The bad doctor traps himself in a little magic bubble and presumably survives, but outside that bubble there is nothing because he destroyed the world. And he's just so remorseful and just, man, y'all, have you guys ever tried so hard to do something, and no matter what you did and how many times you tried over and over and over again, it just didn't make a difference? I don't know what it is about seeing super duper remorseful Doctor Strange realizing that even if he got what he wanted, he still couldn't have it, and then breaking down and being so sorrowful and everything. It got me. It got me, and I'm not ashamed to admit that the MCU cartoon made me cry. It's fine. I'm a sensitive boy, you know. Things get me that might not get other people sometimes, and then there are some things that just don't get me at all. This episode was a bummer. It was a bummer, but in a way that almost makes it the best. In my opinion, it is the best episode so far. It goes all the way with the premise, and it really subverts the expectations by having that sad ending, instead of but there's a glimmer of hope at the end. There is no glimmer of hope at the end of this episode. Like in the last episode, spoilers for episode 3, I guess, the Avengers were slaughtered by a grieving Hank Pym who turned into Yellow Jacket, and they had their own backup Avengers at the end of the episode. So there was kind of hope for the future. There is no hope for the future in this episode, and I think that's what really makes it great. And I would be shocked if we don't see the bad doctor again. In fact, maybe he's shown up in trailers. I haven't really been watching them, So who knows? But yeah, man, you guys need to watch What If. It's so good. It's really good. And I recommend it. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please like the video. Um, consider subscribing if you like me. And tell me, let me know down in the comments what your favorite episode of What If has been, or what you would like to see in a future episode of What If. But until next time, I'm Tyler Stans, and this has been What's Playing Tonight.